The Chiefs beat the Broncos for the zillionth time in a row, but are we really satisfied with that? Let's talk some Chiefs. Welcome to the Chief in the North Mondays, except it's probably Tuesday where you are, because I, Seth Kaiser, the Chief in the North, I am still here in sunny Florida, sitting here now by a canal, watching my son do a little bit of fishing. Unsuccessfully so far, but I've got a lot of faith in him. And so we're sitting here just relaxing, and I'm going to be honest, living the good life. Wherever this finds you, I hope that you're having half as much fun as we are here. So the Chiefs narrowly escaped beating the Broncos after leading by approximately, well, I believe it was 27-0. And you know, with the game going down the way it did, I can see why people are less than satisfied. Man, that's not a very flattering view. Let's just do this. And so there are a couple of things, as we do every week here, we try to talk about some of the things that I think are takeaways from the game. I don't know if we really learned anything necessarily new about the Chiefs that we didn't already know. We already knew that occasionally Mahomes can get a little bit greedy. We did learn about the Broncos that one of their linebackers is excellent at staying home in coverage and making some really nice picks. But I wouldn't say we necessarily learned a lot new about the Chiefs. Other than, I think one of the big things, and this is something that I wrote about already, is that I can tell with the way people are reacting to Patrick Mahomes' performance that we've already started to normalize his greatness. And that's dangerous for a number of reasons, but the primary one being, and I wrote about this, I don't want anyone to miss this. One of the things that I regret about the way that I watched Jamal Charles is that I didn't really appreciate his greatness while it was happening. Don't make that same mistake. Make sure that when you watch Mahomes, think about the season, critique, worry about everything, in terms of like, how are they going to make it to the Super Bowl, all these things. But don't let that distract you from the fact that you are watching something right now that people for years will wonder what it was like to watch. And that is a privilege, and it's so much fun that it makes me shake a camera all over the place. So keep that in mind. Something else is that the Chiefs really do have a closer now in Isaiah Pacheco. He's someone that I want to write about later this week. I'm hoping that I'll have some time to. Chris Jones made a number of really impressive plays, and I personally think he should be on the short list of guys who are potential Defensive Player of the Year candidates. And if anyone says to me, I swear, that, he would have had a great game against Cincinnati if he were a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. That's not how being a defensive player works. Go back and watch the sliding protections the Bengals were using and realize that Chris Jones was the only player they were worried about up front, and no one else made them pay. But that is a takeaway from that game. Without Chris Jones, do they win that game? I'm not sure. He had a sack. He had a couple of stuffs. He had a couple of really important pressures. And he finally hit Russ Wilson on that play that gave L'Jarius Sneed the easiest interception of his life. Tucker's got a line in the water right now. We'll see how that goes. So that's another thing that I took away from the game. The offensive line had a bit of a bounce-back game. I think as much as, Mahomes' interceptions were frustrating, he also, of course, made a number of plays that only he can make. But something that I did note, even though they didn't really go to him until the very, very final play, Isaiah Pacheco showed that he can be a closer. And that's something I'm curious if it's going to make a difference in the playoffs this year. It's going to be something to keep an eye on. The defense, the defense didn't play well. That said, Russ Wilson just played really well also. I kind of had this fear that he'd have something of a bounce-back game against the Chiefs, finally look a little more like himself. He was using his legs. He was making throws down the field better. He played pretty well. And that was part of it. But the other part is the Chiefs' pass rush outside of Chris Jones doesn't necessarily get it done, which sounds weird because I think they sacked him like 5 times. But some of those were coverage sacks. I really do like the job Trent McDuffie did on the backside, but he did obviously give up a crucial pass interference, which, whatever, I guess. We'll just go with it. But the defense as a whole, normally what Spagnuolo's defenses have done is they've gotten better as the years gone along. This one's not really doing that necessarily. And I don't know if that's because they were better early than we expected, and so they've just kind of plateaued, or if there's just a serious talent issue there, or, in terms of what Spagnuolo's looking for. Because some of it is just execution stuff. Some of it is occasionally teams seem to be seeing where the blitzes are coming from. So these are all things that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I heard a big splash and I thought he caught a fish. Those are all things I'm going to be keeping an eye on this week. I'm going to be trying to write about Pacheco. I'm going to be trying to write about Jones. And then overall, we'll see how things go for the Chiefs this next week. They need the Bills to stumble to pick that 1 seed back up. We'll see how it goes. The Bills have a much tougher schedule moving forward. They did pass that first test in the Jets. But overall, the Chiefs are 10-3. Had anyone asked before this season, knowing that this was a bit of a reset year with all the rookies on defense, losing Tyreek Hill, this was a reset year, make no mistake. 10-3 in the hunt for the number 1 seed, I'll take it all day. And it has now been approximately 7 billion days since the Broncos have beaten the Chiefs. And that alone makes it a great week to be a Chiefs fan. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, like I said, I hope you are having remotely as much fun as we are here. And we will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.